there was a really famous cartoon back in the 80s, the meetings will continue until the morale improves. Yeah. I always thought that was hilarious because it's so terrifyingly accurate.
And astonishingly, look, I'm embarrassed that I have a career. You know, I talk about things like trust and cooperation. Why is there demand for my work? You know, but the fact that there is, I'll take it as an opportunity. But what's really sort of abominable is that this is not a new idea. Like, there are books galore and speeches galore and articles galore about what leadership is. You know, we all kind of say the same thing from a different angle, so you can pick your flavor, whichever message resonates most with you. And yet people don't do it. I get this question a lot. It's not really characteristic, vision, charisma, you know? I know some spectacular leaders who don't have big Steve Jobsian visions. They're just not visionary, you know? And I know some spectacular leaders who really don't have a lot of charisma. They kind of just shuffle around, and you're like, that's the guy. That's the guy, right? And they're spectacular. People will give blood, sweat, and tears to these people. The one thing I am comfortable saying is courage, because it is hard. It is hard to stand up against outside pressure. It is hard to stand up to an external constituency who's pushing you to do something for their short-term gain, to do the right thing for your people. It is hard. It is thankless. It is lonely. Sometimes you get fired. Sometimes you get in trouble. Sometimes you'll lose your job, and the next guy will get all the credit. It's all true. And the courage to do the right thing in the face of overwhelming pressure, only the best leaders have that courage. Only the best leaders. And here's the folly. Courage is not some deep internal fortitude. You don't dig down deep and find the courage, right? It just doesn't exist. Courage is external. Courage comes from the support we feel from others. In other words, when you feel that someone has your back, when you know that the day that you admit you can't do it, someone will be there and say, I got you. You can do this. That's what gives you the courage to do the difficult thing. It's not going off to an ashram by yourself somewhere for 4 weeks and coming back and finding it. It's not what happens. It's the relationships that we foster. It's the people around us who love us and care about us and believe in us. And when we have those relationships, we will find the courage to do the right thing. And when you act with courage, that in turn will inspire those in your organization to also act with courage. In other words, it's still an external thing. That's what inspiration is, right? I'm inspired to follow your example. But those relationships that we foster over the course of a lifetime will not only make us into the leaders we need to be and hope we can be, but they'll often save your life. They'll save you from depression. They'll save you from giving up. They'll save you from any when someone just says, I love you, and I will follow you no matter what.
Why do you, I want to talk about that for a second. Why do you think that something so innate, so deeply ingrained in us as love is so, like, just yesterday, I can't believe this is true, this is actually true, I'm not making this up. Just yesterday, this will mean something to you guys. I looked Ron Penna in his eyes and I said, I love you. And I said it like 100%, as my business partner. I said it 100% sincerely. It was just one of those moments where you wanna connect and remember. But that's so weird. Like, I don't do that often. And it's so interesting that it becomes out of context.
Sure.
It's the best way to say it, because, like, at home with my wife, it's so easy, and I love to embody it, and I love to feel it. It makes me feel awesome. Then I come into the office, and there's something about the context that makes it weird.
Yes, two perspectives. One is this is what vulnerability is, right? Being vulnerable doesn't mean crying. Being vulnerable means willing to admit you made a mistake. Being vulnerable is the willingness to say to a job that you have no clue
and most
or no business
people,
being in that
especially
job.
if they don't have a trusting
lying,
environment
hiding,
or
and
strong
faking is
corporate
a
culture,
much better
most
option.
people don't want to feel
right?
vulnerable. It's dangerous to feel
But for the fact that it's more stressful and ultimately
you don't know what you're doing, you've been promoted into a job that you have
it's
no clue
counterintuitive.
or
But